Alright y'all, so as you can probably tell, we are now inside in the master bedroom. Just kidding. We don't need quite this much pink in the master bedroom. We are inside now. We're going to be working on installing one of the indoor units. I actually, yesterday afternoon, went and installed the other two indoor units. One went very easily, one went really hard. So I'm going to take you all along and we'll see how this one goes. We are actually going to start out though with a little bit of an unboxing. I have Mr. Cool unit here in the box. So we're going to go ahead and get it out of the box and just kind of show you guys what to expect when you are getting ready to install one of these. Alright, so we are real quick going to run through the tools that you're going to want to have on hand to be able to do this job. Some you'll have to have, some are just kind of convenient to have, you know, whatever. Start with a tape measure. Going to have a tape measure. A knife is nice. This is one of the, might not need to have it, but it's nice to have and convenient, is a good jigsaw. A level. I would recommend a better level than this cheap piece of crap. But when I went to buy tools yesterday, the hardware store in town was closed at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. So I had to go to Walmart. So do better, hardware store, do better. A stud finder, another one of the things that's not really necessary, but is helpful. Not necessarily this one kind of sucks. You will have to have a hole saw. Now, you really want a 90mm hole saw. In the States, no one has 90mm hole saws on hand. So this is a 3.5-inch hole saw, which is an 89mm, which is a little bit too small, hence the jigsaw, to make things a little bit bigger if you need them. And then you're gonna have to have something to drive your screws. You could use the same drill, but for me, it's nice to not have to switch back and forth between the two. Those are really the key things you're gonna have to have. One nice thing to have would be a sawzall, or a hacksaw even would work great. So that way you can cut this. This is the tube that's gonna actually go into the wall, and you have to cut it off wherever you need it. And so it's nice to have that. I use a sawzall. If I had a hacksaw, that probably would be a cleaner cut, but this works fine. This opened up real quick. Will say, the Mr. Cool units do come very well packaged. Get this out and show it to you. So here is the unit itself. Very sleek, stylish design. I like it. They look good up on the wall. Comes with a cable attached. I will say, I don't know if this is the norm, but yesterday the 24K unit that we installed, I had to have a 50-foot cord for. And it did not come with that cord installed. I actually had to disassemble the unit and install the 50-foot cord. So I don't know if it was just because it's 50 foot. All the rest of them have been shorter. But this one comes with the cord installed. Your manual on how to use your remote control, because it's not just a quick and easy thing. The install/owner's manual. Setup guide. Bunch of random paperwork. You have your remote control, and then it also comes with this, which I believe allows you, if you're connected to the interwebs, allows you to control your units from afar with your phone, I believe. I'm not sure yet, I haven't really done that much research into it. But then you have this. This is going to go around the lines. Some insulation type deal. Fancy little bracket to hang your remote on the wall so you don't lose it, which is really nice. Screws, although I will say with these, the longest screw they send is 1.5 inches. That to me is insufficient. So I actually used 2.5-inch screws to mount the ones yesterday, and we'll be doing the same thing today. Batteries, drain valve. Drain cock, not really a valve. These are like a deadening, it's a very thick, rubbery, sticky thing. I'll show you later. We'll find out together later. I haven't done that on any of them yet. So yeah, that's all of it except for this. Now, this is the wall template. For the 24K unit that I installed yesterday, the wall template was incorrect. The 9K unit, which is what this is, that we put in the other bedroom, the correct one. But the 24K one was incorrect. The drain hole was in the wrong spot. Everything was kind of off. So I don't know if it was for an older unit or what, but I have full faith that the 9K one will work fine because, like I said, the one yesterday was just fine. Alright, that is everything that we have in the box. So let's go ahead and get repositioned here, and we will show you how to put it on the wall. Alright, so it's a 9-inch minimum clearance from the top of it to the top of the ceiling. I've just been going 9 inches off of our crown mold. So, come over here.
9 inches there. Over here. 9 inches there.
Now, it's more important that it's level than it is for it to be square to the ceiling. So, break out this handy dandy kind of sort of level.
And check it. It's pretty close.
We're going to go ahead and just put a mark on the wall. Like that. So that's going to be the top of my unit to work off of. So you got a mark there. So that means I know I'm going to have the actual unit itself is going to be mounted right here-ish. Kind of shuffle side to side depending on where my studs are. I got to rip this stuff off the wall. Hammer. Hammer is also something you need, so hold on.
Hammer. Don't make fun of my hammer. I know it's not a very big hammer. It's a little baby trim hammer. That's all I can find right now. So, use what you got where you're at.
Alright. So, we're going to pull this bracket off the wall here. Alright, so we will break out our handy dandy stud finder. It's saying there's one right there. It's new school stud finder, old school stud finder. Found it. Theoretically, should be one right there too. And there is. Okay. Alright, so I had wanted it over here as tight to this window as I could get it. Unfortunately, because of where the studs lay out, studs have to go there and there. You have to be able to drill for your line hole. I would not be able to have the line hole there because there's a window there. So I'm actually going to have to shift it over here. It's higher, obviously, but over this far away from the window, which is really, I did not want to have to do that. But I think it's going to be my only real option to be able to actually hit 2 studs. These aren't super heavy, but they're heavy enough to where I want it hanging on 2 studs. I don't want it just hanging on 1. So, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to have it as tight to the window as I wanted it to. But it'll still be fine over here. It's not a big deal. I was just trying to kind of center it in the room more. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and extend that line on over. So what I did there was I made a level line where the center of that stud is. And that way when I put the bracket on there and I go to put screws in it, I know where to put the screws in relation to side where I need it to go. So on the template, it has it has the bracket drawn out. It has all the holes and everything lined up. So it kind of shows you like where the top of the actual unit is and then where the bracket's supposed to sit. So I can measure down from my line to get the approximate height of my bracket. And that'll give me the height that I need to actually put the screws in on the wall. And again, it doesn't matter because I've given myself that whole inch of space there to be able to play with down from the ceiling for the clearance. It doesn't necessarily matter exactly that I have the height right. As long as it's level across, it's fine. Yeah, 1 1/8 down. 1 1/8 down. That's going to be the top of our bracket. So here's the unit, and you can see this is the bracket here. It actually comes held onto the unit by a single screw. So you just pull that screw off, and this whole bracket's going to come right off. of skipped off to the side of the stud, which is not great, but it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna put enough screws in it to where it's not gonna matter. And I just know that I have to angle just a little bit. Just stab myself in the hand. Alright, so got the top of our bracket on the line-ish, as long as it's consistent, right there. That's what happens when your drill slips out of the screw and stabs the wall. Again, don't worry about it, it's going to be okay. It's got a thin candy shell. Got the screws in the bracket. And we are ready to go ahead and mark out where the hole is going to go. The giant gaping hole is going to go in the wall to get our lines run through. So that is our next step. From the center of that slot to the center of our line hole is going to be 4 3/4 inches over. So I knew that I have to measure 4 3/4 over right there. So that gives me the center of the drain hole. It's 2.38 inches from the bottom of the unit to the center of the hole this way. I have to do some maths and figure this out exactly where this is going to go. So stand by. First of all, you're welcome for not subjecting you to watching me try to work out math. I already put the fire out from my ears smoking and all that. So it's going to be about 2 3/8 up. So somewhere in theirs. So unfortunately I don't have a line down here for the top of my unit. So I actually have to put a mark down here, or excuse me, the bottom of my unit. So I have to put a mark down here where the bottom of it's going to be, then measure up 2 3/8 off of that. Now, one thing you do need to keep in mind is that because we've adjusted off of our lines a little bit, when we go to do this, we have to adjust these as well. Alright, get the drill and get to cutting a hole. Now, you need to drill the outside one just slightly lower than the inside hole. That way it's on a downward angle and it helps drain all the stuff so you don't have anything coming back in. Almost through. Now our house is actually 1x on the outside, or 1x4s, 1x6s, I don't know. 1 by something on the outside. So it's much harder to drill through with a hole saw compared to like trying to do OSB or anything like that. So your results may vary when doing this. Ours are a little bit tricky. Whew. The drill is not happy right now. It is burning. Got kind of hot. Now I need to drill through the siding on the outside as well. So my battery was actually hitting the wall. So you gotta extend the drill bit or the hole saw out just a little bit. Make it a little easier to get at. Oh, hole saw fell out. Luckily there's insulation in our wall. Otherwise that would have been down inside the wall cavity. That would have been a bad day. Oh, that's hot. Almost through it all. A little bit of siding left to go. There. Alright. We have a hole all the way through the wall. Yay! Next up we have the sleeve that runs through the wall. We got to go ahead and put that in. Work on getting the actual unit mounted on the wall. This is the sleeve that runs through the wall. See, you have the numbers here. Kind of helps you just figure out exactly where you need to cut it. It's got these lines, you cut along those lines. I know from experience of doing the other walls in this house that I need to be just outside the 14. So I'm actually going to run out real quick and I do this outside, it's kind of messy. I'm going to take this out, cut it down to length, bring it back in, and we will get it installed into the wall. As you can see here, it's got that. We are actually going to go ahead and cut that, and so that way you can slide into the hole. I think that if I had the correct size hole saw for this, I probably wouldn't need to do this part. But again, no one has that size hole saw around here, so we got to cut it down. As you can see, we got it split. That's going to allow it to scrunch down, slide into the hole better, or actually even fit in the hole, because without that happening, it would not fit in here. Now, I will say, it's still a little tricky getting into the outside hole, or outside of the hole, but it's going to be just fine. The unit part off camera here, but it's got signal wires attached to it, so we're going to go ahead and run those out the wall. That's the easy part. Alright, so now we're just going to take this and stick it up on the wall. All I want you to do is guide my lines into the hole. Now, it's a little tricky. It just hangs on there. Then you just snap it into place, just like that. Well, it's done.
Thank you guys so much for joining us on this one as we wrap up another part of installing our HVAC system. Hope you join us for the next one when we wrap up installing an HVAC Mr. Cool system into our home. If you're new to the channel, the best way to support us is to like and subscribe to our channel. Keep following our journey as we renovate this new homestead down here in Tennessee. If you're returning to our channel, thank you so much for your support. Hope to see you in the next video. Take care, y'all. Bye-bye.